Okay, guys, welcome to Sickle but Not Broken. So today I actually want to have a conversation about just sickle cell patients and life with sickle cell. So yesterday I was actually online and I was doing some research on YouTube and just trying to look at all the other videos out there about sickle cell. And, even though it's not a lot of information out there, I did find the information that is out there very interesting. Once again, it's very minimal information. One of the things that I ran into was a Dr. Phil segment about a patient that lives with sickle cell, and she was discussing how it was her and her brother living with the disease, and how for so long she's hidden it from so many people. She never told anyone that she suffers from sickle cell. And when she finally started talking about it, her coworkers thought that she was using the disease as a crutch. They really didn't understand too much of the disease, so they feel like she was just making excuses whenever she says she's not feeling well. I always talk about it more so because a lot of people don't understand the disease. I was talking to my goddaughter today, and she said that, she spoke to her teacher, and her teacher didn't know anything about it. And the sad part about it is I actually go to emergency rooms, to doctor's office, and I tell them I'm having a sickle cell crisis, and they look at me like, so what is that? What do we do? What are we going to do? What do we need to do? What do they give you to make you feel better? What's next, in line? And I know here in North Carolina, even though there's like a lot of hospitals, clinics, whatever you name it, there's a lot of medical facilities. It's only one in the whole state of North Carolina that specializes on sickle cell, that has a little bit more information for sickle cell, and that's Duke Hospital. So you have people coming from Fayetteville, Greensboro, all over the North Carolina coast just to come to Duke, just to be followed up on their sickle cell. I also know a lot of people that had to move closer to Durham so that it could be close to Duke Hospital, so they can continue to, get the treatment and be closer to an emergency room or a doctor's office that understand their health a little bit more. A lot of people perceive people that have sickle cell as, oh, they're just making excuses. Oh, it can't be that bad. Oh, well, you look normal, so you shouldn't be in pain. Or, why are you crying? What's hurting? You look fine. I've been to an emergency room, and the doctor walked in and he said, well, you look fine, so I'm going to discharge you. Regardless of what I was feeling, I was weak, I was tired, I was in a lot of pain. It didn't matter because my face looks fresh, I'm not showing any signs of sickness, so I should be fine. And, it really bothers me because a lot of people think that we just lay around and do absolutely nothing, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with us. Like, that really, really makes me angry. Unless you walked a mile in my shoe, you don't know what it is that I'm going through. Just because I look fine and I look healthy doesn't mean that I don't have a lot of other things going on. One thing with sickle cell is that, yes, you do have chronic pain, but having low hemoglobin and having your red blood cells shaped funny, those causes a lot of other health conditions. A lot of other health conditions. Some people have issues with breathing. Some people have issues with sight. I mean, it's so many other complications that you can have. Like for me, I get migraines. I have so many other things that I'm not going to come up here and spill about. But I just want to make people understand that just because a person looks healthy or a person looks fine doesn't mean that they don't have a lot of things going on with them. Every day a sickle cell patient is in pain, and every day we struggle, do what we have to do with the pain that we have. I'm going to give you an example. Yesterday, I wasn't feeling well, But because my brother was in a worse off situation than I was, I got out of bed and I helped him with his kids so that he can stay in bed and get the rest and the medication and everything that he needs. Even though he kept wanting to get up and struggle, I could tell that he was in a lot of pain. And once he took the medication, he was going to be sleepy, drowsy, and not even that. He'll have to get his sleep to get, his rest, to get his energy back, to get back to where, he was. And, for me, I was feeling bad, but I wasn't feeling as bad as he was. So I had a little bit more energy. So I got up, help him with the kids and, allow him to get the rest that he needed. So people need to stop saying, you look fine. I don't see a problem wrong with you. You don't know how much pain we go through. Having sickle cell pain crisis is very painful. There are so many other things that I go through, like surgery, getting eyebrows waxed, like, just different things that normal people find to be painful that I'm just like, okay, well, are we done? And it's not because I'm trying to be hard or anything. It's just because my pain tolerance is high. Like, I go through sickle cell crisis, which is like the most excruciating pain you could ever think of in your life. I've had sickle cell patients that have kids say that, no, sickle cell pain is worse than having children. Having children is a piece of cake for them compared to going through a sickle cell crisis. So we just really need to stop speaking about other people's struggle, and just mind your business. Learn about your experience. Just because a person doesn't look a certain way doesn't mean that they're going through something. And as I said, I want to create awareness for sickle cell because a lot of people have the stigma of, well, what's sickle cell? Can I catch it? Like, how do you get it? And then you have people asking you stupid questions like, well, you don't look like you have a disease, so what does it do? We're sickle cell patients. Sometimes we're fine and sometimes we're not. And if we're not fine, we're tired of people saying, oh, well, you look fine. Well, you shouldn't be in the hospital. Well, why are you going to the hospital for? Like, people need to cut it out. Like, I wish people would just go do research on sickle cell and see what really people go through. In addition to pain crisis, you still have a lot more health issues that come with that. So I just want people to get a little bit more understanding and realize that sickle cell patients are one of the strongest people that I know on this planet. Every sickle cell patient that I know have constant pain. And with that constant pain, they still get education. They still have careers. They still have families, children, whatever the case is. We always strive. Hence the saying, I'm sickle, but I'm not broken. So I could be sick. I can have sickle cell, but I would never be broken. I will live my life as God has put it on this planet for me to live. I travel, I work, I do anything that I set my heart to because I have God on my side. And I will guarantee you that any sickle cell patient feel the same way. No matter what the struggle is, they still make it, they still get through, they still do what it is that they have to do. So I just want people to really, stop making assumption about people and really learn about the disease, and just stop telling people that, you look fine, you're pretending, well, today, 5 minutes, you were just yelling and having so much fun. So why now are you feeling like that? Because it is an unpredictable disease. You could be fine 10 minutes from now, and the next 20 you're not. Nobody can predict when your sickle cell crisis are going to come in. Nobody can predict when your symptoms are going to be. Not even a doctor. Go ask a hematologist, which is someone that specializes in sickle cell. They can tell you that they can never predict a sickle cell crisis. They can never predict someone being sick. They can never predict the symptoms. They can never predict acute chest. They can never predict any of the symptoms that come with a patient having sickle cell. So stop telling people like how they should feel. Like, just take the time to listen. Take the time to learn. Like, do a little bit of research. And if you have any questions about it, ask me. I'll tell you. So don't make assumptions. And I'm not just speaking for sickle cell. I'm talking about anybody in general. Whatever it is that you're going through, whatever your disease is, people need to stop making assumptions. Because just because you look fine and, you have makeup on or whatever the case is, doesn't mean that you're doing good. So, just want to kind of use this as a kind of like advice, educational spiel, both for sickle cell patients and both for people that don't know about sickle cell. As a sickle cell patient, start living your truth. Stop hiding from people, because if you actually are out there and you tell people about it, people can actually learn and know how to deal with you. And for other people that are just learning about sickle cell, stop making assumptions. Like, ask questions, learn. Go online, Google it, do whatever.